Hi, Tully's Training. My name is Kyle Kittleson. I'm an animal behaviorist and one of the consultants for Tully's Training. I'm in Los Angeles, California, but you can find, oh, this is Callie. I didn't introduce her, so she's like, excuse me, more importantly, mwah, this is Callie. She is my yellow lab who is just very, very white. And she's a little tired this morning, or this afternoon. But Tully's Training is in Los Angeles, San Diego, and Seattle for in-person private training. Oh, she wants to lay down in my lap. I'll allow it. Yeah, you can lay down here. But if you are not in one of those cities, don't worry because we offer digital and Skype training as well. This is part of our three-part series on helping you find that great, perfect new addition to your family. On Monday, Mary talked about whether it was better or worse to get a puppy versus an adult dog, and she talked about the pros and cons of each. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about the best breed of dog for you guys to get. And the best breed is, well, it's not that simple, unfortunately. For me, I like labs, but they shed a lot. So I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the breeds that stereotypically would do well in specific environments. But I also am going to talk about other things to look for when choosing that great, perfect dog. If you're watching this on replay, if you want to share this out to your Facebook friends and family, that would be great because everybody at some level is looking for their next dog. Even if they're not actively looking at it, on some level, they're thinking about it and they have their ears and eyes open, so this is great information. I think the first thing to consider when getting a dog and looking at breeds is what kind of space do you have for your dog. If you're living in a small apartment in New York City, then getting a lab like this, or a husky, or a golden retriever, or any working dog is going to be probably a poor decision. A sheepdog, for example, would not do well in a small apartment. They are born to herd, they are born to run, they are supposed to have space, and a dog that just lives in this apartment and maybe gets taken outside once or twice a day to go to the bathroom is not a conducive life for that animal, and you're going to see an increase in behavioral problems because of it, and you're just not giving that dog its perfect life. And it's not just about what works for you, it's also about what works for the dog. So if you're living in a small space, a general rule of thumb is to have a small dog. So a Chihuahua, a Cocker Spaniel, just your smaller dogs are going to do better in a small space. That doesn't mean, however, that you aren't supposed to exercise your dog and that you shouldn't take your dog outside into dog parks to get all that stimulation. It just means that they maybe don't need as much exercise as maybe a husky does or like my dog does, Callie. Let me lower this a little bit so you guys can see her a little better, since really people are tuning in just to look at Callie, not me. However, there is an exception to that rule. I have never owned a Great Dane personally, but I have read a lot about them, and I've heard from a lot of people that Great Danes are actually an exception to the small dog, small apartment rule because they actually do very well in small spaces. Even though they take up a lot of space, they don't require as much exercise as, let's say, a German Shepherd, but they can manage in a small space. Now, if you get a Great Dane or a Saint Bernard or one of these huge dogs, just be ready for everything else that comes with owning a huge breed, a large breed. We're talking about tons of food. I mean, I think Callie eats a lot, but she's probably 50 pounds. So you take a 120 pound dog, now they're going to be eating 3 times as much, maybe more often throughout the day. So there are other things to consider. The most popular breeds of dogs are golden retrievers, labs, chocolate black or yellow, shepherds, and unfortunately, this is just my opinion, I don't have facts to back this up, this is just what I see being in the dog training world, and huskies are becoming very popular. The reason these breeds are so popular, I think, is because they're so cute, and we see them so much in the media. We see this type of, golden retriever, standard dog who lives with a family with 2.5 kids. It just looks like, America's dog. And so a lot of people get that. However, if you're going to get a breed like a lab or a retriever or a husky should be even put its own category, but a German Shepherd, a lab or a retriever, something like that, you have to be ready for so much work in terms of keeping that dog properly exercised. In my experience training hundreds of dogs over the last decade, I would say that none of them were properly exercised when I came into the scene. People think that taking their dog for a walk is enough. People think that, oh, my dog runs in the backyard, so they're getting exercise. No, your dog is running in the backyard because he's not getting enough exercise, so he has to go run circles in the backyard. It takes a lot of work for these more athletic breeds to get them tired out and to get them the exercise that they need. So when you're looking at breeds of dogs, consider how much time you're willing to spend exercising that dog. Because if you can't do an hour a day or 2 30-minute sessions a day, that's fine. Then just go opt for a dog, maybe a Chihuahua or something, that doesn't require as much exercise. Or consider adopting an older dog in the breed that you like that maybe doesn't need so much exercise. Now, the thing that I alluded to in the beginning of this video, and I probably should have made a stronger say at the very beginning, is that people put too much stake on breeds. When they start looking for a dog, they say, well, I only want to look at Labradoodles, or I only want to look at German Shepherds. They come up and that's it. And then their reasoning is because they're great dogs, because labs do great with kids. And while most labs do great with kids, it doesn't mean that every lab out there is going to do great with kids. And it doesn't mean that some other breed of dog would also do great with kids. So instead of looking at just a specific breed when looking for your next dog, really take the time to look at each individual dog that you're considering. So when my boyfriend was looking for Callie, he was looking at lots of different breeds. He was looking at labs, he was looking at Labradoodles, he was looking at retrievers, and yes, those could be related and are related, but he wasn't just looking at one specific breed because he was looking at that individual dog. Just like people, dogs are individuals. So we wouldn't say, oh, well, I only am friends with people who have brown hair because people with brown hair are just so much smarter than people with blonde hair. There are dumb people with brown hair, and there are smart people with brown hair, and there are dumb people with blonde hair, and there are smart people with blonde hair. So to make that type of generalization with a dog doesn't give you all of the information. There are certain things we can assume, like we talked about in this video, but you really need to be looking at each individual dog. And Tully's Training offers a really great service, and I don't know of any other dog training companies that do offer this service, of helping you find that perfect dog. We can work with what you want, whether it's a certain size or certain breed, but then we take it a step further and start looking at what type of dogs are in your area that might work for your individual tastes, and we'll actually go with you and start doing these puppy testing or dog testing if you're not getting a puppy, to see what kind of temperament they have, what kind of attitude, what kind of attention, so that you're getting a great dog for you and your family. It's not fair to say that all labs are great family dogs. Sure, some labs are great family dogs, maybe even most labs are great family dogs, but we want to find that great lab that is a great family dog for you and your family. Guys, if you have any questions during this broadcast, if you're watching live, feel free to leave them in the comments. Even if you're watching this on replay, leave the questions in the comments, because Mary or I or one of the Tully's Training team members will be more than happy to answer those questions. Now, in the link of this broadcast, there is a link to a quiz that you can take to help you kind of narrow down what breed of dog may work good for you. And again, this doesn't mean that's the only breed that will work good for you. It just might give you an idea of what type of breed may work good for you. But again, it's not just the type of breed, it's about that individual dog. I know when my boyfriend was looking for Callie, and we ended up getting you, he looked at lots of different dogs. Great dogs, healthy. Sorry, it does this sometimes where it just cuts out, so hopefully you guys are still here. But he was looking at dogs, and he looked at great healthy dogs, but they didn't have the temperament and connection that he was looking for until he met Callie. So once he met Callie, then it was love at first sight, and then you came home with us. Can I have a high five? Thank you. Mwah. That's it, guys. So again, to recap real quick, try to look at what you can provide for your dog and pick a breed in that respect. How much time do you have for exercising? How much space do you have for your dog? Do you have a backyard? Do you have kids? From there, start looking at breeds that accommodate those things. Smaller dogs usually work better for a smaller space. However, Great Danes are an exception. Athletic dogs like German Shepherds, Huskies, Labs, Retrievers are going to need more exercise from you and possibly access to a backyard. If you have a family, you're probably going to either want to look at breeds that traditionally do better in family situations. It doesn't mean you can't go get a pit bull. It just means that when you're looking at a pit bull, make sure that you're looking at temperament and attitude and attention, just like you would if you were looking for a golden retriever before you bring that home to your kid. And also, training at any stage in a dog's life is beneficial to making sure that you and your dog are happy and healthy. Guys, thanks for being a part of this today, and I hope it was informational and enjoyable. Take the quiz. Let us know what breed you get in the comment section below. And on Friday, Mary will be back to wrap up our 3-part series on finding you that perfect dog. Thanks so much.